Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this the news beat presented to you by Ladies Like. Follow the beat from the studio to the street. Info with the flow keeps you sharp and in the know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the news. Follow. The Great Lakes region put up a policy in the hopes of ending SGBV, that's sexual gender-based violence, but too often society sits in silence and violence falls again and again. So what's their plan to prevent the pain? From Angola to Zambia, they took the course and agreed to 19 protocols. Under this, they opened a training facility to equip stakeholders to strike against SGBV. To build the facility, the member states got a hand from Geese and the Kingdom of Netherlands. The facility is at Munyonyo Commonwealth Resort. What's the vision for the region? Here's the report. By 2020, the facility will have full resources and be ready to offer a variety of courses to train police, the judicial and ministers, as well as journalists and social workers. The opening hand officials from all member states looks like they're ready to do whatever it takes. It's time to strike down SGBV and bring their policy into reality.
Hey, what's up, my friend?
You know, towards the end of the year, I'm always thinking about making positive life decisions.
Well, let me tell you a story of true inspiration. We all know that prostitution is a life-endangering profession. Sex workers face a lot of health risks, but as women feel the pressure to take care of their families, they often take the risk. Now, a big opportunity has come around for 250 sex workers in Busia town. The women were given fish businesses on credit by Josie Company Limited, and guess what? They are doing it! One woman said she was rescued from poverty and earns 20,000 shillings daily, which is enough to support her family. The idea is catching up quickly, and other women also want to change their lives positively. For Joel Emanu, the director of the Cage Fish Farm Company, this is an encouraging success story. He's a true social entrepreneur, seeing what sex workers had to endure and how many girls saw prostitution as opportunity. He decided to create a change and make women's lives steady. The company director also said that this is also the job of the government. They often don't focus on vulnerable women subject to domestic violence or caught up in prostitution. I guess 2018 should be a year where we care for each other. I'm Tushi Polo, reporting for Newsbeat.
1% of women under 40 find it near impossible to have a baby. It's a fact. Though some think it's witchcraft, it's not that. Many survived ovarian cancer or had premature ovarian failure, but there's a breakthrough in infertility, a new ovary transplant technology from a research institute in Nairobi, partnered with experts from universities in the US, Sweden and Austria. What was found by these researchers? Ovary transplants have little success and need drugs with serious side effects, but there's a natural option that's better called the pre-implantation factor. Two baboons were the first test subjects, similar to humans. They were perfect. They received the pre-implantation factor before their ovary transplant, and after success, they accepted their new ovaries. It's a chance for renewed fertility. So they succeeded with the test. What's their next step? To test the transplant with humans and maybe restore hope for women struggling to conceive children. Well, it's the holiday season. I might book a trip and go easy.
Great idea! Where do you wanna go? Kenya, Rwanda or India?
I was thinking of Nigeria.
I would think twice about that, my friend. Since Boko Haram, tourism has come to its end. Nigeria had a hard economic setback since the many attacks by the terrorist organization Boko Haram, especially in the northeastern region, but the government of Borno State is keen to see a revival of the region's touristic scene. They announced a big plan at the National Council of Culture, Tourism and National Orientation. They want a creation of a particular museum in the house of the founder of Boko Haram. Muhammad Yusuf was the founder and leader of the notorious group. He was killed in 2009, but he left an aggressive legacy behind. Now that he is no longer alive, the Borno State government wants to turn his house into a big archive for the future generations to visit and understand the things that Boko Haram did. They also want to strengthen wildlife population in Sambisa Forest, another potential tourist site in the region, and they hope to sensitize communities to see cultural heritage as opportunities so that more jobs can be created and the region no longer avoided.
That was the news of the beat. Next week will be another hit. Still Ladies Like, reporting live and direct with love and respect. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Yes, follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.